I tell you, I got in on the neatest, most amazing place of ministry when I officially came on staff at Big Rock Congregational Church back in 2003. I want to see if I can help you to understand just where we were. The church itself sat in the middle, still sits there, in the middle of rolling hills in northern lower Michigan. Uh, the church had almost closed back in the mid 1980s. We were getting there in the early 2000s. And as a matter of fact, they had a sister church in town, and the organization they were working with said, you guys are done. You might as well come into this church in town because, which was, I don't know, 3, 4 miles away. Well, the few couples that were left, few families that were left, said, no, we feel like God's not done with us yet. They got a pastor that had been there before out of retirement. And the Lord just blessed that ministry with a few committed couples, with this pastor who came out of retirement. The story goes he actually died of a heart attack right after preaching a sermon at this church. I mean, going to heaven right from preaching. What a deal. But the church started to grow. And they got in, the Lord brought along another young pastor, first church, right out of school, with 2 little kids, and God just blessed, and the church grew even more. I'm going to try to set the scene for you. I'm going to throw a few pictures in this time of what it was like. Yeah, the church, which had a very big rock in front of it, Big Rock Church. The little town village that used to be there was Big Rock. There was the foundation left of where our store was. And there was a few houses in the area, mostly farm fields, electric poles, but that was it. You went into town for your groceries, or you went to the big city of Gaylord, Michigan to get your food and do your shopping. There was nothing in Big Rock. There were people, though, great people. When the Lord opened the door for me to return to ministry in this basically settlement church, we had about 60 kids, 60 kids, coming to Awana, and we had a group of 10, 12 of them starting to graduate into junior high. The church was busting at the seams. Its seating capacity, all full, was 150, 160, and again, in this middle of nowhere, we were hitting that because the Lord was blessing and moving, and the pastor who was there now had been in ministry for many years and loved the Lord, loved the people. So the church was able to buy the house and acreage and barn and acreage next door to it. And that house, I got permission to turn it into a youth house. Found out later they figured that the youth would trash it and then they could tear it down, which is what they originally wanted to do. Well, our youth didn't trash it. We used it. And our youth group grew from 10 to, we had as many as 20 kids coming at one point, just filling up this little house. Some of the kids' parents did vending machines. So we had a vending machine in there, and kids could throw their quarters in and get ice cold pop out. We knocked out a wall so we had more room in there, so we did do a little remodeling. We put the kids in small groups with adult leaders with them so we could meet in the different rooms of the house. It was just some tremendous, tremendous ministry. One of the neatest things that we got to do, and it's going to be 20 years next year since we did this, Uh, we went through an organization called YouthWorks, which, if you're looking for great experiences for teens, that's a good one. We've done lots of YouthWorks trips over the years. One of my daughters actually worked for YouthWorks for a summer. Um, but we took uh, 8 teens and 2 adults to Tijuana, Mexico back in 2007. This is the last year that they did this trip because it just got too dangerous. We were the first group there, and the other 2 churches that were supposed to come changed their minds. Chickens. They missed out on a fantastic experience. Our work project was there was a 97-year-old woman living on a side hill in Tijuana, and she was living in a house 8 feet square, so 8 feet by 8 feet. She had a little bed, tiny television, and all her possessions, which weren't many, basically would fit in 2, 3 suitcases, maybe at the most, in this house. By the end of the summer, she had a house 8 by 16. Our team, our kids, and I'll put some pictures in, we had to dig into the side of the mountain and dig down far enough that they could lay a concrete slab to build the addition onto. So 8 feet by 8 feet, and I want to tell you that the ground, that's the right word here, it was already concrete. I mean, we were pounding it with sledgehammers, pickaxes. It was hard work. And the kids did it. They groused, but they did it. They worked away at it. We got to go to an orphanage, see little kids, meet them, and we stayed at this great church. I'll talk more about this trip. I'm kind of going long this morning, but it really changed our kids' lives, really changed the lives of the adults that went on this. We really became more open to the moving of the Lord in our lives. God just brought this all about. Let me be right in the middle of it. Just some fantastic blessings during the Big Rock years.